All right, fam. I'm live on YouTube and I'm live here in the Unearth Your Worth group. It's been a minute. What's happening? Coming to talk to you why shadow work is a must, why it's important. It's only going to be a short one. I'm planning to run um, a, lost my train of thought, a workshop online called Understanding Shadow Work on the 11th of November, so 11/11. Thought about doing it at 11 a.m., but I was like, nah, that's too cheesy. And also, a lot of people might not be available at 11 a.m. So, anyway, I'm just smoothing out the details and gathering that interest. But I wanted to come and share some details about actually why it's important. There's a few people that have been like, what is it? What is shadow work? So, I'm coming to just, really speak to you about why it's important. I where do we start? Lucky I wrote some shit down. So biggest kind of frustrations, I guess, when not understanding or knowing about your shadow is that we're kind of living in one world, right? A world that and I was just talking about this today in the rebuild, but it's a world where we don't understand the deeper movements, the deeper weavings of life. To decode that, what I'm saying is that when we don't understand shadow work and we don't understand this deeper realm, what's going on is Jesus. All these messages. Hold on, peeps. Projector is freaking out. Let me just turn that sound down. So when we don't understand shadow and the realm in which it exists, we're living in this dimension where we kind of just feel like we're being affected, by what's happening around us, and that we kind of have no power to make a change in what's happening because we don't understand the subconscious realm, the realm of the psyche, the unseen. We don't understand the unseen. We don't know about it. We don't know how to move in it. We don't know about it. We're not equipped to move in that world. And so therefore our world is kind of is very frustrating, because when we get stuck, we try everything to get unstuck. We try and improve ourselves, we upskill, we work harder on things, but why doesn't it move? You know what I'm saying? That frustration is for real, and we can end up like getting like really mad, literally, trying to move and trying to better situations that just seem to kind of either get worse or not get better when we've honestly been trying everything. So these are some of the frustrations and symptoms that we can see when we don't understand shadow work. Another one is how frustrated, how self-conscious we can become, because when things are happening for us over and over again, and I'll just talk to the kind of three main areas that people tend to get stuck in over and over again and not seem to know how to get themselves out of it. And where there are, anyway, I'm getting too deep. I'm trying to stay to the thing, but it's like the three main areas where people get stuck over and over again are in relationships. They can find themselves in shitty relationships, with finances, so not being able to create that flow. Instead, it's very frustrating, even though they're working hard and doing all the things. And the third one is in their own time and energy. That can get very stuck. So when we think about those things, we can become quite self-conscious about the fact that these aren't moving. And when we're self-conscious, that costs us self-esteem. So we're actually giving away our self-esteem, because we are so aware that we're not creating the change, and we've tried everything, but we still don't know what the hell is going on. So it's just a cocktail of shit, because we're trying everything, nothing's working, we're losing our self-esteem, it's all just gone shit. So This is why it's a must. It's important to understand that unseen realm. Before I get into like what it means for us, I want to just talk about what shadow, like what is it? It is our shadow aspects are parts of ourselves that we don't know how to look at, that we do not know how to embrace, that we do not know how to work with. They are aspects of ourselves. You know, if we think about qualities, you know, people ask, you know, what are some of your qualities, and we can easily kind of think of those. The closest thing that I can give you to shadows that would be normalized out in the you know, conscious world is weaknesses. So, you know, I don't know what kind of forms you'd be filling out, but sometimes we get asked, you know, what are your qualities and what are your weaknesses? And, you know, sometimes we can answer that. We can answer, you know, my weaknesses is that, you know, we put down some really, you know, basic stuff. We'll think of shadows as even deeper than weaknesses. They're a lot more, there's a lot more depth to these parts of ourselves. And so our shadows are the parts and the aspects of ourselves that we don't know how to look at, that we don't know how to accept. It's usually all the stuff that's like, you know, how I describe shadows is the stuff that we don't want the world to see. The faces, the aspects, the non-qualities that we don't want the world to see. And so what we do with them is we subconsciously, we don't look at them, and we only focus on, you know, the stuff we do or we don't mind the world seeing about us. You know, I'll give you some examples. We don't mind the world seeing us as grateful, but we don't want the world to see us as ungrateful. We don't mind the world seeing us as loving, but we don't really want the world to see us as someone who is unloving. Or, you know, another big one is we don't really want the world to see us as selfish, but we don't mind the world at all to see us as caring, okay, and giving. So those are just a few tiny examples of what lies within the unseen shadow realm. And it's about getting to know what is in there for us as individuals. When we understand what is in our shadow realm, when we understand our shadow, and we know how to locate and work with and heal aspects of ourselves that are very much driving our behavior. And when we can do that, we can remain focused in our life. We can remain focused and grounded. Like, there's a lot of talk about being grounded, not like for real. We can be so grounded in ourselves because we know that we don't have the fear that we used to, that fuck, we're going to lose it all because we're so frustrated and things are just keep happening over and over again, and it's so damn hard to bloody ground and get a hold on things. We don't have that fear anymore that we're going to lose everything, and that everything that we've worked so damn hard for is going to poof disappear because somehow we can't get our shit together. That's gone. When we understand our shadow realms and we understand how to do this work, we can remain grounded and focused. And as one of our or an old what would you call him, chief revenue officer used to say, and it was quite a funny story. I went to Mexico in 2018 to sales excellence reward kind of trip, high ticket sales trip, and all expenses paid for. And at the main event, this CRO, chief revenue officer, got up and said a speech, and we actually had a game going at the table for every time he would say focus precedes success. And yeah, we kind of like every time he said the two words, we kind of like passed this glass with money in it. And yeah, whoever got the glass, you know, who was holding it at the end of his speech kind of got all the money. Anyway, focus precedes success. meaning that when we can focus, when we can stay grounded, we succeed. And so when we understand shadow work, we are clear. We have an understanding of why things are happening in our world. You know, when we don't understand, like when we're not clear on something, when we don't understand, kind of like reminds me of like some of my past relationships, when I'm like not completely clear on the situation at hand. I got my little FBI hat on, I'm like trying to figure out the little gaps and whatnot. Still kind of do it these days, but it's less extreme. But the situations are less extreme, but it's kind of like I'm trying to piece together the things that I'm a little unclear about. When we're unclear, we've got questions. But when we're clear, we've got compassion. We've got compassion because we understand and we know we've got a deeper ability to be compassionate for ourselves and for the world around us, because we know. Knowing is power. Knowledge is power. And when we know what's causing our behavior, what's driving our behavior, and how to navigate and fix it, when we know, we can grow. And yeah, we're content and we're grounded. So this work, shadow work, it's about remaining focused, grounded, for real, about being grounded so that we can remain we remain on track, remain on mission. We can get on with life and enjoy life without like looking over our shoulder and wondering, if the thing in the relationship or the thing financially or the thing with our energy is going to come back and like bite us in the butt again. No, we let go of those fears of losing it all or everything messing up on us again and again, because we understand what is causing it. So that is the importance of shadow work. And yeah, an introduction for those of you that were looking for one. So I'm going to leave it there, and I will hopefully catch you on the workshop. All right, bye. And bye, YouTube.